raw vegetables, your body can't digest them if you're not used to having that into your diet. So there's two things you can do to stop that from happening. If any of you are struggling with that, you would want to steam the cruciferous vegetables. So your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, your kale, anything that's really dark green, it's got a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, you'll want to steam them briefly for about 1 to 2 minutes. And that will take away that outer layer of enzymes, coating of that vegetable that your body can't digest, especially if you have a sluggish thyroid, okay? Which some of you may or may not know if you have it or not. But one of the tests that we do, the hair analysis, tells me whether you have a sluggish thyroid or not, whether it's at the cellular level functioning the way it should. So if you want to know that about yourself, that's one of the ways to do that. It's a tool. We also have muscle testing that Dr. Craig does, and I know he was here guest speaking last week. So just so you know, there are ways to find that out. The other way is if you don't steam them, then what you can do is make sure that you eat them in combination, or you eliminate those certain vegetables for a short period of time so your body can digest, and you take enzymes. Okay? How many of you are familiar with enzymes and what they do in the body? Enzymes are critical. They're very, very important, and they work alongside hormones and vitamins and minerals to help your body digest food. So if you are lacking enzymes, which I pretty much guarantee everybody walking on the face of the planet is, because they get destroyed by stress, by toxins, by processed foods. When your body doesn't have enough enzymes, then your body cannot break down the food. So it sits in your stomach, undigested, rots sometimes. That's why a lot of people have gastric reflux, or have acid indigestion problems, or have sluggish bowel movements, because their body's not digesting the food and it's staying stuck in the digestive system where it does not belong. The body can't pull the nutrients out of it. So enzymes are very important, and that's something you can incorporate right away in your diet if you're struggling with fruits and vegetables in your diet now. Okay? Some people struggle with proteins. Does anybody in this room struggle with digesting proteins? They just don't feel quite right, and it's kind of hard on them. That's a different group of enzymes when you're digesting protein. And what you want to do is not combine protein with fruits right away, and especially later on in the day. So that's a tip, a little bit of a food combining tip, that if you struggle with the digestion of proteins, have your protein later on in the day without fruit, or you can have it in the morning with a very minute amount of fruit. Like if you were to have an egg white shake, for instance, or scrambled eggs. Make sure that if you're going to have a little bit of fruit, wait till later on in the morning to do that. Make your fruit your snack. Okay? The proteins are harder to digest in the evening, typically, but it's a lot easier if you're taking enzymes. Okay? So hopefully that will help a little bit with protein and fats and carbs. Carbohydrates, whole grains, fruits, beans. Does anybody have any trouble with those foods? Struggling with any of that? Which ones do you struggle with?
Beans.
Yeah. And that's also another sign that your body doesn't have enough of the BBG enzyme group to break down those proteins.
So how do you get those enzymes?
You get a specific one for proteins.
And a specific one for carbs?
Well, depends. Usually there's a combination and overlap. A multi-zyme product, for instance, from Standard Process is a very wide group of enzymes. It's very, very helpful. If you struggle with all three groups, like I did for quite some time, due to the stress, really affected my digestion that I've been dealing with, I take a multi-zyme and a Zypan. One of them focuses more on the protease enzyme group, but it also gives you the hydrochloric acid, which is not there when you're under stress. Okay, the body completely shuts down hydrochloric acid production when you're stressed, which is another reason why you shouldn't eat when you're upset. How many of you do that? Catch yourself doing that? Or driving in the car and you're trying to eat a meal, somebody cuts you off and it's a bad scene. Your body's not going to digest that food because it's got to take all the resources to produce cortisol to shut down that stress level. Okay, so those are kind of little hints on how to help you so that you don't struggle with digestion. Okay. Sure.
Whole grains.
Yes.
Can you go into whole grains a little bit? I can't just certain grains, but I can do
Other ones.
and what is helps, or what are some of those different?
Yeah. So the biggest difference with grains is that you need to make sure that you're getting grains that are not processed, and they are called sprouted grains. If they're sprouted grains, they have not been chemically processed. They have all the enzymes that your body needs to help break them down. They come with them, grown. They come in contact with it. So you don't have to worry about providing them per se. unless you are in digestive stress or have developed an autoimmune response to those grains, which most people do. Because once you become enzyme deficient, it's very difficult to break down grains. But the one thing you don't want to be deceived by is when you see 100% whole wheat, or you see all these breads that are out there and carbohydrate products that say, oh, this is the best of everything, and all you have to do is look on the ingredient list and see if there are more than 4 or 5 ingredients, and that is actually sitting on a shelf, you know that those are processed grains. Okay, so I really recommend strongly to my clients, especially when I start with people in a program or I just start working with their nutrition, to eliminate those processed grains out of their diet. So sprouted grains are easily found in the grocery stores in the frozen section, refrigerator section. You can get them. You can get breads in sprouted grain. You can get tortillas, pita pockets, English muffins. There's many varieties of sprouted grains you can buy, but you have to make sure that they're being preserved properly, not by chemical preservatives, which is what the other breads and carbs are. And that's a huge market. People are carboholics because they get addicted to it, just like sugar. How many of you feel like, oh, I gotta have that bread? I love that. That's my favorite thing. That's my thing. I talk to a lot of people. Chocolate's not my thing. Sugar's not my thing. But you put bread in front of me and a little olive oil, and I'm forget it. It's not going to happen. So you have to make sure that you're looking at that and seeing there's a reason why your body would be craving something, because that's not normal. To crave something that you know is like an overabundance of something or not good for you, and it's not coming in the right proportion. Sitting down and just having bread and soup, you know what I mean, and having a large amount of bread just because you want to feel full. What's happening is your body's telling you that you are nutrient deficient. If you're craving food, you are nutrient deficient, meaning you're basically malnourished. And your body's trying to tell your brain that. And so you'll keep thinking you need more food. Does that make sense? So when you feel those cravings coming on, start figuring out, what did I eat in the last 2 to 4 hours? Was it balanced? Did I have a good carb? Did I have a good fat? Did I have a good protein together? If I didn't have that in balance, then you know you're kind of going down the wrong trail. Okay? And you want to make sure you're incorporating that into your diet. And that's what we call refined grains. Your pastas, cereals, that doesn't mean you have to eliminate those things out of your diet, but you want to be very careful to pick rice pastas, truly sprouted grain whole wheat pastas, stuff like that that you can have in your diet without fail or fear, because your body will have what it needs to digest them. And again, I highly recommend people take enzymes anyway, because if your body doesn't have the enzymes to digest, it's going to steal the enzymes from your cells. And they're called metabolic enzymes. Then your body has to take all this energy to convert them. So the enzymes that were meant to help your liver now have to come in and help digestion. And that's not good. It takes a lot of energy, and it causes the aging process to accelerate. And that's why we feel fatigued more,